SAO Integral Factor has been around for 6 years, and there has been a lot of features and game mechanic introduced in the game that may overwhelm players easily. In this video, I will show you a step-by-step player progressions with a skill to aim and a farming guide from when we just started in the game until we reach the very end game content to guide you on any stage of the game. Starting from when we just started the game, for the very first time, you will most likely have a free daily gacha banner, a head start banner, and a 72 hours head start banner, where hopefully you can get good skills to start with. If you're planning to re-roll, I suggest aiming for an ability skill with a power rise 3. I have a previous video explaining those skills and which one is the best that I will link in the descriptions for you to check later. Otherwise, your goal in the early game will be to complete the main story quests and learn from the tutorials in the game given as you progress through the story. You will notice that you will be able to craft new weapons and armor on each floor, but you don't have to craft a new weapon as you progress on each floor because they can be expensive earlier on. It is best to just change the equipment as you feel that the content is getting challenging to complete. You can purchase the strongest equipment available on the floor that you are at and upgrade it to 2-star at level 40. The upgrade material can be difficult to get, so if you need some materials, do some of the easiest level of the limited time events to get some of those materials. When you get to floor 50, there is a quest where you can get a ring for free. Get the ring and you will be able to equip an EX ability skills. After floor 50, you will feel that the difficulty level spikes. Get new equipments if you need them, and push through the game to get to the floor 61, where you will be able to get the strongest floor equipment, which is equipable at level 100, which your player should have passed level 100 at this point. Get the equipment on that floor and upgrade them to 3 stars and level 60, since this will be your strongest equipment for some time. With that equipment and hopefully some luck from the free gacha, you should be able to complete all of the main story quests until the very last floor, and congratulations, you have completed the early game stage. During this stage, the skill record that you need to aim for is the ability skill record with power rise 3, power rise 4, and mod skill, especially the one for the sword weapon. Banners featuring those skill records will be a good one to invest in. Moving on to the mid-game stage after you complete all of the main story quests, this is where the grinds begin. If you have not leveled up all of your 5-star skill records that you use to level 80, you will need to do that first. The limited time events will be the first place to farm the materials to upgrade your skills. Find party to do those events and get to the last scores where you can get all of the Arcana gems if you can. Once you have gotten all of the Arcana gems from the limited time events, you can start doing the permanent events to get all of the Arcana gems and any materials and skills that you need. One skill record that you will need to get is this Azure Swordsman Yu-Gi-Oh that you can get from one of the Alicization events, which you will need for your progression later. At this point, you should be above level 141, and it is a good time to start farming for Deluxe Integral Weapon for your main weapon. Find or form a party to farm floor 40, 48, or 50 Interior Labyrinth for the weapon material, as the material are easier to obtain from the interior level. If your main weapon is not a thrust weapon, it is a good idea to get another one for a thrust weapon as well, as you will need one of them to farm the next 3 integral weapon series. It is also best to craft a sword weapon because you will be using it a lot before you proceed to the endgame content. Next, if you have a mod sword skill already, it is a good time to also farm for mod 2 and 3 releasers when you are farming for the Deluxe weapon. If you still need more, I have a guide on the fastest way to farm in my previous video that you can check out as well. Once you have a mod sword skill with slot 3 unlocked, attach the Azure Swordsman Memory Yu-Gi-Oh to that skill and you will see a major increase on your damage. After that, you can start farming for the Chaos level 135 armor with party because the mod sword will get stronger with higher defense. So that armor will improve your damage. Chaos level 155 armor currently can be challenged with party as well, but the bosses here can one-shot player easily, which can be challenging to farm at this point. Moreover, the stats difference between level 135 and level 155 armor is not that big, and you will get more drops on level 135 bosses, making it easier to obtain. Those mod swords and chaos armor will be useful for you to clear any events faster to get more materials and arcana gems in the game. Weapon proficiency level is another thing that you can farm. Get the weapon proficiency level at level 25 at least for all weapons to unlock the weapon knowledge skill that can give 5% attack for all weapons. Then farm for the release crystal to unlock all of those weapon proficiency skills that you have unlocked. You can farm the weapon proficiency level on floor 50 or 56 depending on how quickly you can clear the mobs, or from the underground when there are a lot of people gathering together. As for the release crystals, you can get them from the events trader and from farming the bosses either from the labyrinth or the board quest from floor 13 bosses and above. Then continue leveling up to level 201 and weapon proficiency to level 40 for all weapons, and you will be ready to move on to the endgame state. At this stage, the best skill to aim for are the ability skill that can give you more attacks, such as the ability with Veteran Sword Technique 4, Advanced Trooper 4 and 5, skill that can give you 800 attacks and more when you use the Thrust and Blunt weapons, mod skill with Thrust weapon with wind, fire or water elements, good mod fodder for those skills, and skill with Mark debuff to prepare for endgame stage. You will also want to get at least 3 awakening skills that you can use on your set. In the endgame stage, the focus is just on getting better equipments and skills to get your character stronger. The next easiest bosses for the next line of the endgame weapons are all weak to Thrust, with level 161 weapon weak to Thrust and wind, the level 181 weapon weak to Thrust and fire, and level 201 weapon weak to Thrust and water. And these bosses have resistance to any other elements other than their weakness, so your mod sword that can snowball any contents before will not be effective anymore. You will need a good Thrust set to be able to farm those bosses efficiently, or just be a good tank in the party. The weakest boss for the latest weapon has Blunt and Earth weakness, but it will take a while before you can start farming this boss. Those level 161, 181 and 201 weapon are something that you can start farming next. You can also farm Chaos Armor, where the bosses have resistance to other elements, and Mechanic, where you will need a skill with Mark debuff and other specific types of skill records. So the skill that you need to aim for will depend on which bosses you will be farming. For example, if you want to farm the floor 85 boss, a mod Thrust Fire skills and their mod attachments are some good skills to aim at the Gaja banner. Also, some skill that will increase your attack with a Thrust weapon are good as well, and the other fire and Thrust element buff skills. Other than that, you can also try to get the best bonus on the ring equipments and the 5% element damage for each element. The best bonus that you can get, in my opinions, are the plus 200 attack, 5% attack, or 50% switch damage. Ingots are also something that you can farm to increase your damage further. The rainbow ingots are only obtainable from gacha, but we can farm the gold, silver, and bronze ingots, and we will need a lot of those ingots if you want to max out the ingot that we want. Some ingot can increase our weapon proficiency and call that we obtain from killing monsters, and they are farmable from the dungeon bosses. Skill releaser are other things that you can farm to increase your skill damage. They are consumable items that can be farmed from underground dungeon that has a very strong mobs. You can also max out your weapon proficiency for all weapons and unlock all of the weapon proficiency skills. Then for the ultimate challenge, farm the Integral Shield from the underground B2 dungeon boss, which will take a very long time to farm because you will need a very large party and strong one too to be able to kill the boss. Those are the step-by-step guides that you can save and revisit whenever you get confused on what to do when you reach a certain level. If you ever need more explanations on why you need to do the things that I mentioned in this video, let me know in the comment below or check my channels, since I most likely already have a previous video explaining them, like what you can find in the playlist here. So I will see you in the next video. Bye now.